Imagine this. You're sitting in a cave 40,000 years ago. Your best friend is holding a sharp rock near your face, and they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Welcome to the world's first haircut. Before we get into what went wrong, and trust me, a lot went wrong, let's understand why ancient humans were cutting hair at all. Hair, in the wild, is actually a problem. Long, tangled hair gets caught in branches. It collects parasites, lice, ticks, things that bite, and in a world where a tiny infection could kill you, keeping hair short or managed wasn't vanity, it was survival. But here's the catch. They had no scissors, no razors, no mirrors. What they had was a rock, specifically a flint or obsidian flake, basically a piece of volcanic glass chipped into a blade. And yes, these things were genuinely razor sharp, sharp enough to cut skin accidentally, sharp enough to shave if you were very, very careful. The question is, were they careful? So here's how this probably worked. You didn't cut your own hair. You couldn't. No mirrors existed for most of human prehistory. Someone else had to do it. That someone else was probably a family member, a close friend, maybe the person in the tribe who was considered the best at using sharp tools, the same person who also made the spearheads, by the way. So the skill set was weapons and hair. Now imagine sitting very, very still while someone holds a literally razor-sharp piece of volcanic glass next to your ear, and they're doing it by feel and by eye, in firelight, maybe. The result? Almost certainly uneven, probably patchy, possibly with a small cut or two on the scalp, because obsidian doesn't forgive mistakes. And here's the really interesting part. There were no words for "that side is shorter." Language in early humans was limited. They couldn't say, "just a trim please," or "don't touch the top." It was a lot of grunting, pointing, and hoping. So what did the finished result actually look like? Anthropologists have found evidence of hair grooming going back at least 100,000 years. Ancient combs made from bone, scrapers used on skin and scalp. Some ancient human remains show signs of hair being deliberately cut or styled. But here's what's wild. There's also evidence they cared about how it looked. Cave paintings and ancient figurines sometimes show hairstyles, braids, tied-back hair, even what looks like shaped cuts. So clearly, at some point, someone looked at a bad haircut and thought, "we can do better than this." Which means, at an earlier point, someone looked at a bad haircut and just accepted it. That person is the hero of this video. Now here's the part nobody talks about. What happened after the bad haircut? In a small tribe of maybe 20 to 50 people, everyone saw everything. There was no going home and hiding, no hat to throw on, no hood to pull up. You walked out of the cave looking like that, and everyone who mattered to you, your family, your friends, the person you were trying to impress, they all saw immediately. Did ancient humans judge each other's appearance? Almost certainly yes. We know this because grooming and appearance signaling exists in every primate species. Chimps groom each other socially. Appearance communicates health, status, and desirability. So a bad haircut in a small prehistoric tribe wasn't just embarrassing, it was information. It said, either this person doesn't have anyone skilled enough to help them, or the person who helped them really isn't that skilled. Which brings us to the cutter, the one holding the rock. Did they get in trouble? Did they get a reputation? Was there a prehistoric equivalent of, "don't let Og near your hair, remember what he did to Rak"? Almost certainly yes. Reputation in small groups is everything. It was then too. And now the part that goes from funny to genuinely serious for a second. Stone tools cutting near skin means nicks and cuts were common. And cuts in a world before antiseptic, before antibiotics, before any understanding of infection, were dangerous. A small cut on the scalp could get infected, and a scalp infection, untreated, could spread. People died from things like this. So the stakes of a bad haircut weren't just looking silly. They were, occasionally, life or death. Which makes the person who sat down and said, "yes, come at my head with that sharp rock," either very brave, very trusting, or just really tired of hair in their eyes. Probably that last one. Here's what I love most about this question. It's not about survival. It's not about fire or hunting or migrating across continents. It's about something completely mundane, a bad haircut. And yet it tells us something enormous about who ancient humans were. They cared about appearance, about social standing, about looking presentable to the people around them. They sat still while someone they trusted came at them with a sharp object because looking good, or at least acceptable, mattered. That's not primitive. That's deeply, recognizably human. The tools were different. The mirror didn't exist. The result was probably uneven, but the feeling of sitting there, hoping it turns out okay, hoping whoever is behind you knows what they're doing, that feeling hasn't changed at all. So the next time you walk out of a salon feeling like it's not quite right, just remember, 40,000 years ago, someone walked out of a cave feeling the exact same way. The only difference is they couldn't even see it. Actually, that might have been better.